and welcome to a weekly time trial tips video at Spa. As you can see here, I'm at the very bottom of Group A, and based on past experience, that won't be enough. So let's get on to me setting a better time. This is a fully upgraded Porsche RS Spyder Evo, and we're going to do the full run first with tips, and then even more tips, braking points, and so on. So this first corner, boy is it tricky, and is it ever important. 25% of a lap happens after this. So a small mistake there just adds up the further you go. And it's interesting going through this section here, Eau Rouge and Raidillon, depending on how you take that. You could actually give up a tenth of a second depending on how you take that. So little things like even this. Maybe it's only 0.02 seconds more, but that can be enough to get you in a whole different grouping and earnings. You must take this corner correctly or the next two will be horrible. In fact, they will be a disaster. This is Lacombe corner, and if you take it properly, the next two you can take full throttle in this car. If you take it incorrectly, you cannot. And then we're at Bruxelles, which definitely is a more heavy braking point. And this car, you take, well, the corner with no name, according to a lot of people, you take that one full throttle. Now, Pouan corner. This is possible full throttle in this car. I prefer a very small lift because I was just wiping out too often there. Was taking it full throttle here and there, but not too often. This corner is full throttle if you took the last one correctly. Yeah, you're gonna hear that a lot. Now, right from this corner, 22% of the lap happens. So that also is a critical braking and acceleration point. Not just braking points, acceleration points. It's both of them that matter. And this last braking point, well, second last, it's incredibly important. I've been having a very hard time. I did a lot better this time around. It's just hard to find your reference point. And then we're back on the throttle for a tiny bit, and look at this, I really pushed those limits. And I tell you, I'm ecstatic with this. The difference is so small, but it makes such a big difference. It's just 0.225 seconds faster, but look at this. That's a pretty big jump up, and I will have nothing to worry about for the rest of this tournament. So for our first braking marker, I want you to watch on your left. There's literally a chunk of dirt that I will highlight in a freeze frame right there. I'm braking a car length past that. I swing out just for a tiny bit. You don't want to swing off track too long like that. 2 tires off track increases your braking distance, but it also improves my race line into the corner, so I opt to do that. Very purposeful race line through Eau Rouge and Raidillon here. You really want to be pushing track limits. Push the track limits as much as you can, just like people would in actual racing. No, probably wouldn't drive on the grass that much, but it works here. Now, way over to the right, and just a little bit after this wall ends, a little bit after that red ends, that's when I'm onto those brakes, not very long. And if, again, this trajectory, this race line is very difficult. You could do a micro lift there if you need to, and it won't hurt you. Braking before the curve, then get onto it a bit. Try to keep your tires on track. That's off track, but for acceleration, that won't matter. And then here, you gotta be very purposeful with your race line. So through Pouan corner here, you could maybe keep it pinned. I only give up 8 kilometers an hour. I'm giving up maybe 0.025, 0.05 at the most. I'm willing to do that to get this lap. This, you can get back to the throttle sooner than you think you can. Okay, you gotta trust yourself a bit and then swing over to the left. If you have to do a micro lift there, but I didn't. And then I'm braking back. So back a car length from that reference point. Here, woo! Again, push those limits. Look at this. My Ghost was gaining. And then I'm starting to pull away because I'm starting to push these track limits more and more. Again, this is a long speed run. 22% of the lap happens here. So that last braking point was very important. Now watch on your left. The green's going to end. So that's about -2 car lengths from that point. Swing off track just a bit, onto the throttle a little bit here, and then back to that throttle really early. I really pushed this. I just gave it all to try to get these earnings to get a great time. Very happy. I put in a lot of work. One thing I'm doing differently is sessions. So I'll do about an hour maximum and then go take a break. Takes me about 10 minutes to get back on the groove, but it seems to help. So please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye now.